this is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I have Maxwell with me this morning. He's not working today, so Maxwell came in, and I have a little tiny project here, and I actually have Maxwell because I needed him to finish this project. Yes.
What if I wasn't here?
What if you weren't here? Well, I would have made a mess of it, actually.
Yes, you would have dumped the whole bag.
I would have dumped the whole bag. What am I making? I'm making a pincushion, right? I have a very large sewing room, as you know, and I had pincushions all over the place. And actually, I had just gotten this one. I had gotten that one from Hobby Lobby. Look at that. So blessed. Huge pincushion. And in my last video, people were like, you're never going to lose that pincushion. So that's here at my cutting table. But I have like a tomato one over there, and I have one over here. I have one pretty much by each one of my machines. Yes?
Where's your original tomato?
No, that's my original tomato.
Oh,
and I have a smaller one. Yeah, I have them. I have lots of pincushions.
And that smaller one was useless.
It was useless, and the reason it was useless is it was too thin, and
shallow.
Yeah, it was too shallow, and I have tried to make a pincushion before, quite decorative, like sort of like with ties up and everything to make it like a tomato, and I really stuffed it with fiber fill, and the pins, which I have quite long pins, I have longer pins with the heads on them, quilting pins, it went right through it. And I would pick it up and I'm thinking, oh, so that didn't work, just the fiber fill. So what I had done a little bit of research, and there's all sorts of books and everything on how to make very decorative ones. All I did was make a square pincushion here, squared off ends.
That's a rectangle.
I mean, it's a rectangle. Thank you, Maxwell. With squared off ends here. It's one piece of fabric as about an 8-inch square and a bit of batting. I did use a bit of batting in here. And then some hand sewing on the bottom. You'd be proud of me. But what you need to fill this with is, Maxwell, have some coffee. What you need to fill this with is to make it rather substantial and a little bit heavier, and apparently the pins stay much sharper, is I've gotten this online. This is Desert Blend Ground English Walnut Shells. Okay? It's a huge bag. I don't know how many pincushions.
I don't know why you got you just like go big or go home. I got the biggest bag for making like 1 or 2 items.
I got 5 pounds of walnut shells.
Why? Tell me.
Well, maybe I was thinking I was going to make some pincushions. I thought because I'm the little gifts that I'm making or the little gifting ideas I'm making, I actually had made this little pincushion. I think that's as sweet as anything. Look at that. I had some of, it's a cupcake. I had some of these metal little tart tins that I had, and I saw it online, something like this, and then I decided to sort of cover this little cupcake with I sort of hand sewed and gathered the red piece of fabric, and then I glued it on, but I didn't know how to put the walnut shells in, so I made sort of an inner bag. It's okay if I had perfected that, and that I like because your pins obviously are not gonna go through. But that was a little bit fiddly, and I wasn't thrilled the way it turned out, although it's sweet. And I like the idea very, very much. You could decorate that. So maybe I quite like this idea. But for now, what I've done is I've made this pincushion here. And I quite like it. It's very utilitarian. I made it just out of a lighter fabric. I think maybe not a real, like a real patterned fabric, because you want to see your pins. But what I needed Maxwell for was to help me with the funnel pour this stuff in, because I don't know how. I guess if I had had a spoon and I could have done it, but I had gotten my huge great big bag. I think you can get this in a pet supply place and get smaller. It's apparently like a bedding for smaller animals, snakes or rodents. I don't know, not rodents. Not rodents. But ground walnut shells. What is it for?
Pet rodents.
Pet rodents. No, you don't have pet rodents. Place bedding into terrariums. Terrariums and landscape as desired. So that's what it's for. So I had gotten, as I said, 5 pounds. Ideal for desert-dwelling reptiles like bearded dragons, monitors, desert skinks. Yeah, so that's
And
what this
lizards.
is, and lizards. So I had gotten 5 pounds of this stuff. I'm gonna be making pincushions coming out my wazoo. Yes.
What about the other thing?
What?
The other video thing we made?
What are you talking about? Maxwell didn't go to work today. And I needed him. Oh, they would be interested. Maxwell, as one of the other videos that I had made, Maxwell had how many Maxwell debit cards have you had? 3 debit cards. And what happened to those debit cards, Maxwell?
Each one of them, I'm terrible with having a separate wallet.
Right.
So now I have a wallet, phone case.
Yes.
So
your other debit cards were in a
actual separate wallet.
right.
So I would lose them. Sometimes I'd lose them in the most obvious places.
Well, no, if it was obvious, then you wouldn't have lost it. No, the most unobvious, because he's lost 3 wallets and 3 debit cards. So, as we had talked about before, I was not very keen.
Yes, because I wasn't, should I say, responsible.
You weren't, yeah, exactly.
As now.
Right, as now. Maxwell just turned 21, and all of a sudden at 21, you're ultra responsible? You think?
Money, not really, but
Yeah.
the debit card, I'm always having this
Yes.
phone on me.
So the point is, Maxwell wanted to get another debit card because he always has his phone case on. So he came in this morning and said, "Oh, I would really like it if we could go to the bank."
I would like to buy a shirt.
Okay, we'd like to buy a shirt. That's right. What kind of shirt did you want to buy?
A Cleetus MacFarland shirt.
Cleetus MacFarland.
Drag racing.
Oh, drag racing. Drag racing shirt. Shout out to Cleetus.
That is
Cleetus
his-
MacFarland.
That's
How much was the shirt?
27.
$27. Now I knew you had $27 in your account.
Yes, I knew I had that amount.
Right. So I had approved that, but he was saying, "Oh, we have to go to the bank, which isn't open. You need to make an appointment." And I'm like, "Whatever. I want to make a pincushion."
No, you don't have to make an appointment.
You have to make something.
I called him, so me and you could just go in. I call the bank.
Oh, you have to call the bank.
And just say my name and they'll let me in.
Okay. So you've sort of made a semi-appointment.
Yes, a semi-appointment,
Right.
but I want to go today.
He wants to go today, but I want to make a pincushion. So it's like blackmail. Like. So what happened though with your debit card? So with the purchase of his shirt.
So on my computer, my debit card details are on my computer. So
That's not safe. You just found that out. Because you ordered something before. You put a while ago, a long time ago.
Yes, like a long time ago. Like I think this was 4 or 5 months before COVID.
Yeah, it was a good over a year ago that he ordered something online. Put those debit.
That was in the old computer. Somehow it transferred to the new computer. Somehow.
Well, didn't you put all that information over, didn't you?
Yes, because I didn't have the new computer till this house.
Right, exactly. So what happened this morning? He just per chance thought, "Oh, I'll see if I can order this shirt with my approval."
Oh yes, but I did my debit card. I was putting what's that?
It's the security code.
The security code, and I got the security code, and it went through.
He remembered the security code.
Out of all the chances, I remember
I know. Look at that.
security
So
code.
maybe you are more responsible. But actually, now that you know the security card, you're going to be ordering stuff online, only with our permission. So anyway, that was Maxwell's exciting thing.
Yes. Are we gonna go?
So are we going to go? Are we going to go to the bank and get him a debit card, folks?
Yes.
No, I'm asking my YouTube friends. Should we go to the bank and get Maxwell another debit card?
You do realize it's not gonna get uploaded till tomorrow.
I might upload it today. Get all nervous. We'll probably get him a debit card because Maxwell's trying to be a bit more responsible.
I am more responsible.
Yes, we're trying to get more responsible. But first of all, you have some responsibilities to do today. This morning? What are those?
I said I'll do them.
Yeah, what are those? What are those?
My room,
Yeah.
what I have a problem with.
Yeah, you do have a problem.
Or should I say rooms? Well, it's more of a room right now.
Yeah, you have your bedroom, which is small.
And then I have my office. It's hard to keep a small room clean.
Yes, it is. It is. And you have big shoes. You have a lot of shoes. So I'll come in and help you.
13 shoes.
13 pairs of shoes in a very small room with a double bed.
And
we have to get you a smaller bed.
Single.
A single, a twin. It makes me sad though, because the bed you're in
Use your mother's bed.
was my
grandmother's.
Your great grandmother's brass bed. Aww.
That's gonna have to go. End of the generation of that bed.
Yeah. My great grandmother's old brass bed, beautiful brass bed that I slept in.
Okay.
Okay, pincushion. Yeah, we digress. Okay. But yeah, you got to go do those things, okay? Before it's called blackmail. You do your things. We're going to make a pincushion. Maxwell's going to come back and I will show you in a few minutes, because this takes 2 minutes to make, how we actually do this.
Well, what could we like fill it from this end? Like you make it like that and you just.
No, I don't think so, because this
try.
has because you need that squared off corner and then that large opening for the funnel. So you need a funnel.
Oh, wow.
28,000 pounds of.
Why can't you just do it like this?
Because I have to sew that. I have to sew that properly on the machine.
Or you do it like that.
Oh, leave the opening up there.
Yeah, leave the opening up there. Leave an opening.
And fill it that way.
Yes, instead of going into the middle.
Oh.
Dum.
That sounds very clever. You see what I did is I made the opening here, but Maxwell's saying put the opening up here and then fill it with the funnel. Because I had to like shift it. See, I needed my Maxwell. All right, we will be back, folks, to show you how we fill my silly little pincushion here. Maxwell, what a brilliant idea. Thank you. I'm at my machine, and this is the little pincushion that I have made. Very, very simple little tube that we have figured out. Maxwell figured out why in the world aren't we filling it from the top, which I will do right now. This pincushion here, which is a nice practical size. I started out, I was wrong in the beginning. I said it's 8-inch square. What you need is a 6-inch by 8-inch piece of fabric, okay? 6 inches by 8 inches across. You need a piece of fabric and you need a piece of batting. Now I'm using a 100% cotton batting. I suppose a polyester batting would work. This is a cotton batting and my pins go nicely through it with just a little bit of force, depending on how sharp your pins are. But again, the walnut shells keep your pins apparently very sharp. So in order to make this little pin cushion, what we do is we fold the pretty sides together. Now I have not secured this. I have not spray basted it or anything. My batting is staying nice. I'm just folding it, making sure there's no tucks here. I'm folding the long sides together. And I will do as Maxwell had said. I will show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start 1/4 of an inch at the top here of this seam here. And I'm just going to go down about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to back stitch there. Now I'm going to come down here about, I'm going to leave an opening just about 1.5 inches or so. Maybe 2 inches down. And I'm going to put my needle down and I'm going to do another back stitch. And I'm just going to go right off of that, right off, having back stitched. Now, usually when I turn this around, I go off here on my opening. I didn't here. I didn't do that here because for whatever reason, I found it easier to slip stitch this open because I'm having to hand stitch this. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now, what you're going to do is you're just going to open up your little package here, your little parcel, and you're going to put the seam that you've just done right in the middle, and you're going to just, you can eyeball it, make sure your fabric's nice and tucked, where there's no tucks, and then you're just going to stitch that. Again, I do back stitching over the seams. I don't want any of my crushed walnut shells to come out. And you know me, I like to back stitch anyway to make things nice and sturdy. Now you're just going to come along here, and you're just going to sort of finger press these seams, the seam open, and again eyeball it into the center, right there. Needle down, back stitch, and right off. Now, oh, excuse me. Now what you're going to do, trim these edges. Now what you're going to do is you're just sort of going to, it actually just wants to do it. We're going to be boxing these corners. Remember, I've been making tote bags by the dozens. You're just going to be boxing this corner, and you're going to just fiddle with it. They're both sort of folded edges. Keeping that right in the sort of the center, you're just going to make that sort of triangle of fabric there. You see that? And then coming in about an inch, this is what I did on this corner here. If you can see, we're sewing this seam. It's a little bit crooked because it's not perfect, because we're dealing with such a tiny little boxed corner. On a tote bag, you want to be really precise, but on this little project, so I just sort of pinch the fabric together like that, having that right at the point, my seam at the point. Then I'm just going to go in about an inch. And whenever you're making a boxed corner of a handbag or anything, the size that you're sewing this seam right here, this box, this little triangle, is the size of your box of your bottom is the size. So that size there, as you can see, will end up the inch right there, that seam there. So I'm just going to do that. It's a little fiddly, but it's not hard whatsoever. Just try to get it sort of in the middle. If the seam opens, it opens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's my little triangle right there, like that. Go in about an inch again. And then right off. And then I clip that bulk off, like that. I'm just going to do that on this side. As you can see, it just sort of lends itself to doing this. Sort of open that seam up, pull that up to the top. And again, if it's a little bit crooked, it's fine. Across there, back stitch, and then right off. And clip it, and then one more. By all means, put your finger in there, open it up. Have a nice little triangle point, come in about an inch. And then clip it. Again, I can see it's not going to be ultra square, but I'm fine with that. I'm not bothered. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open it up. Open it up. I'm going to turn it inside out. And as you can see with the batting, it makes it a nice, this is nice and soft anyway. It's not just, you're not just putting the walnut shells into a fabric sleeve. So there's my little, as you can see, my little squared off corner right there, my little boxed corner. It's pretty square. And then right there. And now I'm going to go get Maxwell, and I'm going to fill it from the top down. I'm going to sort of push that all out. I don't have to press it. Just push my little corners out there. And then I'll show you how Maxwell and I fill this. here's my little rectangle with my squared off corners there. Sweet, 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 sweet. And then as per Maxwell's suggestion, what a good idea, we are going to fill this with my funnel. Okay,
using gravity.
And let gravity do the trick here. So Maxwell, that has a little opening at the top there. Let me see if that's in the video. Yeah, okay. And just a little bit at a time. See, yeah. Awesome.
And as we do it, feel the bottom. Is it going in?
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. As I said, okay. Okay, okay. Now I have to sort of tuck that. That's gone down nicely though. As you can
Tap
see.
it. See how much easier that is?
It's so much easier.
By tapping instead of like pushing it with your own funnel.
Okay, no. So it's down there.
No, so I'm gonna.
No, hold on. It's down there now. It's filled. It's filling. So maybe I'll just sort of hold that and whack it down. Because I want a nice. Oh, there it comes. I want a nice.
Yes, it's coming out,
yeah.
And don't put too much in as the
know.
last one.
Yeah. So now I have to. Yeah. Now I have to. It's down here. It's down here. But Maxwell's going to fill this up to fill it in here. I'll tell you, this stuff is so gritty, but it's good stuff. This is apparently what you use. Okay, keep going.
I'm gonna do it a little bit at a time. I don't want to like fill the funnel.
Oh, so much better, Maxwell. Though, excellent.
Now,
think smart.
Scale of 1 to 10. How much easier is this?
This is like so much easier. The last time I made it so hard. What would I do without you, Maxwell? Okay, now that's good. I want it. I personally like it really sort of stiff. So I need to get some more in there though, and so there you go. Now I'm just gonna I'll put my funnel into like this part here, and then I will show you because I'm gonna hand sew this opening. A bit more. Quite a bit. Oh. A bit more. No. Okay, but it's going to go into the corners. So see, it does pat down. It's like cereal, packed by what is it? Weight, not volume, or something. Because the air. Yeah, look. So I can have a little bit more. Look.
No more.
Well, if I do that.
No, no more.
Just a little tiny more. Just a little bit more. You know me, more is never enough, Maxwell.
Go big or go home. How many of these are gonna make? Like 2 or 3?
I think these are sweet. We could sell them at a craft show. What was our last craft show like?
Terrible.
It's terrible.
We didn't. We
sold. No, I sold.
You sold one item.
I sold. So worth stupid. Okay, no more. A little bit more. Oh no! I didn't see that.
There's a reason why I stopped.
Okay, so there you go, folks. So there's my walnut shells, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slip stitch this opening closed here, like really, really good. I don't like to hand stitch, but pardon me.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So I'm just going to slip stitch that closed, and I will have a lovely little pincushion. Oh. Please. Thank you so much, Maxwell. Any of you know, I am not a hand sewer. I don't sew very well by hand at all. And I'm not bothered that I'm using white thread. I'm not bothered that this is fairly crude. I'm just catching the folds underneath here of this. And as you can see, I really have to do this tightly with little tiny stitches so that this is the bottom of my pincushion, so that my walnut shells do not fall out at all. I have to sew this really, really minute little stitches. And so when I turn this around, aren't you proud of me? I'm actually hand sewing something. Fairly large needle and white thread. I don't like to hand stitch. But I can't think really of another way to machine this. And by all means, it's just a fiddly little thing. So, here's my hands sewing, and as you can see, you probably can't see it, but even we were real careful. My mat here is really gritty. I'm gonna have to get my little vacuum and vacuum it all up because it's really gritty stuff. It's no big deal though. But this is not a slip stitch whatsoever because you can actually feel that, but I'm okay with that. I'm fine. I think this is a nice practical thing. And again, there are tons of patterns to make real decorative pin cushions. There's books, all sorts of things. But I just wanted another one. Now I have two for all over. I have pins all over near my ironing board, my sewing machine. I have 4 sewing machines up. So it just for me is a practical thing. But by all means, I'm going to come to the end there. Really do it well. This nice little sausage. And finish that off nicely with a few knots there. So I'm assured that my walnut shells are not going to come out. So there, my scissors. So there we go. There. That's a nice little package. And as you can see, my pins go in there nice and easily. And again, the walnut shells are supposed to keep your pins lovely and sharp. I believe they used to do it with metal shavings. I think that's like an emery board. But for now, I'm really pleased with that. Lovely batted and filled little pin cushion. So I hope you like this little tutorial, folks. Yeah, lovely. All right, thanks. Thank you, Maxwell. See ya.